show. I hope you like. What the heck, I can't think of anything else.
The other song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, here we are, all happy and gay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Isn't that weird? That word meant something different to our grandparents. Now it means something else, and your name is not Mike Matthews. Your name is probably Pelton or Milton or Fran or one of those other old names. Fran. Wasn't that a great
Mike's Daily Podcast
name for women back at the turn of the century? Hi, I'm Fran. Or Patty. That's another one. Hey,
Mike's
I am named that too.
Daily
That's Jebediah Smith.
Podcast.
Jingleheimer, I mean.
Yeah!
John Jacob. My name's Mike. This is FFSO 2164, 2164. I have to tell you, there's a guy named Bob I gotta make a shout out to, even though he's probably not listening. Bob, how are you, Bob? Bob said, hey, I want to call into your show, and I'm going to say things, and people are going to be shocked, and it'll rip up your show. It'll tear it apart. And then he told me, and look, you're gaining weight, Mike, and I'm losing it. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And I said, I gotta go. I'm standing here on this trail in Podcastro Valley, and I don't want to talk to you anymore because it's getting dark. And the last thing I want to do is walk on this trail that's dark. Plus, you just insulted me. Oh, Mike, come on. I didn't really mean it. You haven't really gained that much weight. And then he was talking about how his son apparently has white man issues. In other words, he thinks that everybody's out to get him because he's a white man. And you know what? That really makes you look stupid. I'm sorry, it does. It makes you look stupid. When you're white, when you come from this entitled European ancestry that has enslaved half the globe and killed and given influenza to the rest.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And you feel like you're being picked on because you're white and you're male. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Bob didn't feel that way, but his son did. So I and my lovely lady friend were kind of like, okay, thanks for sharing with us this on this trail as we were just walking. Oh, the podcast picture's not of us walking, but of a beautiful spot. Mavericks Beach, Carl Sagan, in the area of Princeton, near Half Moon Bay. Pilar Point is another name of the marina. That's right, Basil. Yes, you and I had been there. I know. You were with us there as well on Wednesday when we did that. Is it called Princeton? I think it's just, I don't see it now as I'm looking at Google Maps. El Granada is another point in that area of Half Moon Bay. It's also called Sail Rock. Wow. Mavericks Beach. Basically, we're near the Pilar Point Air Force Station in this podcast picture. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Yeah, Princeton is another name. Okay. Welcome to the Travelogue Show. We might possibly even have the lovely lady friend at the very end of the show. We'll see how it goes. She's on an errand right now. An errand. By the way, I would love to get into a discussion here about all the phrases that we missay all the time. It is hilarious. They kind of pointed it out on the IT crowd, which I was very saddened to hear. The IT crowd, NBC tried to make an Americanized version of it, which looked horrible. And they put Joel McHale in it. And I usually loved Joel McHale, loved him in the Community show. But this looked terrible. I guess they did one episode and it died and that was it. But on British TV, it lasted for something like 6 years. David Lander has passed away. Oh, the guy who played Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley. He was 73. Dang. He was also part of a very fun comedy group. He was, let's see. Oh, he worked as the Goodwill Ambassador for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Was it Credibility Gap? Was the comedy group. They made some comedy albums that were fantastic. He worked with Harry Shearer, Michael McKean. Well, Lenny and Squiggy, Michael McKean, and David Lander. But yeah, it's sad to see. He's a very funny guy. Okay. Let's see here. So, what are some of the... I'm going to try and write down every expression, every word, every term that we missay all the time. Like, take it for granted. Take it for granted, or is it granite? Some people say take it for granted is an expression that is a result of mishearing or misinterpreting the phrase take for granted. Take for granted is an eggcorn. That's what I want to talk about. And I'd love for you to discuss with me at 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast has been now for a couple of days. Occasionally we get interrupted. But an eggcorn is a misheard word or phrase that retains its original meaning. Often take for granted is used as a geological pun. Oh, what was the other word, a term that I was discussing with my lovely lady friend? Well, we were talking about on IT Crowd how the woman said, I forget her name, the actress on the show. She goes, men like to put me on a pedal stall. A pedal stool instead of a pedestal. And now I can't think of the other one at the moment, but when these eggcorns come to me, I will eggcorn instead of an acorn. Get it? We do this often. There's stuff that you've said your entire life that was misheard. It's hilarious. I would like to also discuss Tom McClintock. Wow, Tom. Wow. He is just attacking the people that are saying wear a mask. He is just going after it, and he says that that we're hysterical. That this is similar to the Salem witch trials, where witches were being burned at the stake. Tom McClintock is saying stuff like where that he compares the COVID lockdown left restrictions to Salem witch trials. Can you believe? And he's talking about mass hysteria. We shouldn't wear masks. It's mask hysteria. Eggcorn. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast. We're in Podcastro Valley 10 today. So, yeah. He's just... he also warned that Governor Gavin Newsom is imposing COVID-19 restrictions that reminds him of communist scares of the 1950s. Wow. He's kind of seeing that the wrong way, isn't he? In a way, I mean, when he catches coronavirus, what will he be saying? He says, COVID-19 survival rates are very high. All right, so let's say that the survival rates were very low. Let's say a lot more people die, and it's like he's acting like nobody dies of coronavirus, which is ridiculous. But if he were to say, in the situation, let's say the situation was 10 times worse, he would probably say the exact same thing. I mean, we're being hypothetical here, but he's being hysterical there. So I was just appalled when I heard that. And I can say that because it's my podcast. It's Mike's Daily Podcast. And there are some eggcorns that I would love to... is there other ones? A list of eggcorns, perhaps, we could maybe find? Would be awesome. We'll look into that here at Cafe Anyway, outside of Cafe Anyway. Also, let's see. Bold-faced lie. The correct term is bald-faced lie. Really? Interesting. The trickiest acorns in the English language, just according to Ranker. Gosh, I already hate it. Ranker. People argue this could have. The correct term should be could have, or could have, not could of. Could have, with the apostrophe between the could and the VE. Chomp at the bit. It's actually champ at the bit. This is what a horse does when they have a bit in their mouth. They champ. Really? Jerry-rigged. The correct term is jury-rigged, which describes creating or repairing a device using makeshift materials. Jury-rigged. I don't know if that's true exactly. Whet your appetite should actually be whet, W-H-E-T, meaning to stimulate your appetite. All intensive purposes. Intensive? No, it actually should be all intents and purposes, meaning encompassing all desires and objectives. Duck tape. Quack, quack tape. No, it's actually duct, D-U-C-T, tape. Duck tape is a brand of this type of tape, but it's duct tape. Well, I don't know. There's some here I don't think it's exactly true. Pass mustard. It should be pass muster, the ability to satisfy, to be satisfactory with an outside entry. And escape goat. It's actually, the correct term is scapegoat, meaning a person who's being intentionally blamed for misdeeds they did not commit. It comes from the Bible, wherein a Jewish priest had absolved his people of their sins by placing them upon a goat. Old-timers disease instead of Alzheimer's. And biting my time, it's actually biting with a D. All right, well, there you go. If you have any more, you can call me 336MM daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast tries to be. NPR's got a bunch of other ones. They also talk about pass mustard. Agreeance. Another thing coming instead of another think. Though many say it's the other way around. Another thing is arguably more common now. So I guess some of these get adopted by people and then it changes because of that. All right, enough of that. Hey, I just got a text, which probably means the food is here. So we're going to get some food right now, my lovely lady friend. Oh, she's on the way back to Cafe Anyway. Yeah, you might be asking, Mike, how do you keep Cafe Anyway open with Tom McClintock? Is Tom McClintock on your part of your, works for you and he keeps you open because he protests against Tom McClintock? Gavin Newsom, getting all of our California politicians mixed up. Hugh Grant was on Fresh Air, by the way, and he was talking about how his grandfather was in World War I and II. And World War I, he got badly injured. He was in London for a while, recuperating. And after that, he never went back to London again. He hated London. It was a terrible experience. Then he fought in World War II, got captured by the Germans, by the Nazis, was in a Nazi prison camp, and tried to escape many times. One time he was caught by a Swiss farmer who had to return him to the Nazis because he said, if I don't, my family is going to be murdered. So he eventually got back to Britain. I forget that part of the interview with Hugh Grant. It's on Fresh Air, and I don't always plug Fresh Air, but this was a really good one. Terry Gross did a good job interviewing Hugh Grant. I'm Terry Gross, and this is Fresh Air. And then, years later, his grandfather, Hugh Grant's grandfather, was on a ship. And they're going somewhere, some trip somewhere, and he's talking to a passenger on this ship. Turns out, he figures out, it's the Swiss farmer that he hadn't seen in years. And at this point, they were all, grudges were gone. They were okay. He had forgiven the Swiss farmer, and all was good. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the show. Was there anything else here? Trump has got 7 weeks, a little less than 7 weeks, to make us all believe that the entire election was a hoax. He's convinced, of course, most of his followers, and that he won by a landslide, making all of his crazed fans that believe him feel vindicated. He's got the clock is a ticking. So we'll see what happens there. That's all. That was some stuff I wanted to share. And Bob. Bob being so awkward on the trails of Podcastro Valley. I hope you get to run into Bob someday. It'll be pretty interesting. Next show, we haven't seen the people from this show. Let's say hi to them. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
And to Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
Trump did win by a landslide, and you should respect that, and don't let Biden get into the White House. You can do that by signing this petition.
Oh, we got a petition here. Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and sign that, Mike.
Okay, I'll go ahead and not do that. Thank you. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer. Have some right now. Wow, this is wonderful. This root beer looks really good. Is this more of your eggnog root beer? No, it's my egg corn root beer. Oh, I don't want to know what an egg corn is. Egg corn. You actually do when you, when you do a fried rice and you throw some corn in it and you put the egg in it, that's where you would have an egg and a corn together, I think. And then possibly when you make corn bread, you have an egg involved with corn in some fashion. No? Maybe not. I think I'm done wondering about these things. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thank you for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, look who's here. Look who's here, this special guest that just stopped by.
Well, hello.
It's a lovely lady friend stopping by. How are you today? Thanks for getting food for us here at Cafe Anyway.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm going to have to unbutton my pants.
You're acting like Al Bundy. You're burping, you're letting your pants down, you stick your hand in your pants.
I'm not letting my pants down.
Oh.
I'm just unbuttoning.
Okay.
To let my stomach out because I've eaten large quantities of delicious food.
It was really good. Burmese food.
Yes.
Yum.
Burma. Let's give a shout out to them. They deserve it.
They deserve a plug and they deserve a slug. No, they don't deserve a slug. They should give us free food is what they should do.
Oh. Yeah, we'll be influencers. We'll be promoters.
I was talking about egg corns on this. This is
egg corns?
Those are things like we were talking about that people say that are the wrong thing that they think they're saying it the right way, like take it for granted.
Oh,
That's
for
wrong.
granted.
And we were thinking of some other ones.
Which ones did we think of?
We had one that sounded so much like...
Oh, how about play it by year?
Play it by year?
Yeah.
I've never heard that one.
Play it by year.
Oh, okay. As play it by ear. Yeah. I can't think. There was another one that sounded just like the other one. The way that you really say it.
Goat? Goat and goad?
Oh, yeah. you goaded me into doing something, and I was saying you goated me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
There was some other ones, and we'll have that for the next show.
When something sounds like something else.
Yes. And then people, but something I discovered is that when enough people say it the wrong way, the wrong way becomes acceptable.
Oh, it catches on.
Yeah.
Ah.
That upsets people that are religious because they're like, well, you know, what it says in the Bible is not popular. So, no, at some point, the Bible, which is the Word of God, everyone does something different from the Word of God, yet it's in the Bible.
Oh, I have
not to get into a theosophical conversation.
I have not met people of that persuasion.
Oh, okay. You haven't? All right.
Well, people that get offended by something that's misquoted in the Bible.
Oh.
Biblical misquotations instead of quotations.
Yes. I don't know where we are right now in our conversation.
I'm going along. I'm following your flow, Michael.
Thank you. You got a lot of compliments for your...
Really?
Or just one. For you singing Metallica on the last show you were on.
Right.
That was excellent.
I got more of that for you, Kevin.
There you go. You gonna sing some more Metallica?
I think that's the only one I know.
Aw, we're singing Christmas songs a lot more lately.
Yeah. What if we sang a Christmas song in the style of Metallica?
Oh, okay.
I'll be home for the holidays. No.
I'll be home for Christmas, you mean?
Oh, yeah. For Christmas.
For
Christmas!
That's good. We're all applauding you. Okay, so I'm going to be on this kkdv.com station tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there's a link at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Oh, I love listening to you on the radio. I'm always surprised whenever I hear you.
Really?
Yeah. And I know it's you, but then when I hear your voice and you're next to me, it's like, oh, what? It's this weird depersonalization, derealization.
Yes. How are you talking on the radio and you're right next to me?
Yeah. What hoodoo voodoo are you pulling off, Michael?
That's a whole technological thing I can't go into right here, right now on the podcast. But I'm glad you get amazed by that.
I love it.
Oh, I was talking about Bob, how he wanted to call in. I want to call into your show. You're too bad you're not live. And I'm like, well, how would that even work, Bob? Like, I could be live, let's say, at whatever time I want, because I do the podcast whenever I want. Because I'm Napoleon Dynamite, whatever I want. So why don't you just give me a time that you want to call in, and I'll be there. But I'm not going to just be live all the time, because I have a life. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, we were discussing Bob and his son that has some interesting views about white privilege and other stuff. But hey, we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
But lovely lady friend, it was so good for you to be here today.
Aw, thank you.
And I think we'll go take a little drive over and see all the holiday lights in downtown Pleasanton. That should be nice.
It's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Next show. Oh, I said it was going to be next show. Okay, so tune into the next show. Tell all your friends, and you can call us at 336-MM-DAILY. Yes, you'll have to leave a message, but if you want us to call you back, let me know, because I could maybe do that. I don't know.
Love, you're tired.
If I'm tired, I won't do it.
All right.
I'll just... But, like, they can call in and leave a message, basically. Or they can even text 336MM daily. 3 + 3 = 6 MM, as in Mike Matthews Daily, isn't what this podcast is. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you. That was great having you stop by, lovely lady friend.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Mike'sDailyPodcast.com.